Ladies and gentlemen, new husband and wife, Will has bestowed upon me the honour of being his best man, and it's now my delight to deliver one of the final speeches today. I would like to start with some thanks. With the hours of preparation, attention to hair and makeup, I think we can all agree that the ushers have really outdone themselves. Also, the bridesmaids, Alex and Liz, are both really lovely. Gemma, you look stunning. Will, you look stunning. I would like to point out to Will that as the only two people I know to have repeatedly missed flights due to sleeping in, that's him and me, I think this is the first time that we've managed to be prepared and on time for anything. I would like to take all the credit for this, and I will. I suppose Gemma should get a mention here as well. Thank you, Gemma. I would like to extend my final thanks to Gemma's parents, to Peter and Alison. Thank you for arranging and being helpful and paying for most of this. Now, as best man, it's traditional to sing the praises of the groom and highlight aspects of his wonderful character. Well, I can't sing, and I certainly don't lie. I thought you'd all enjoy a spell of character assassination far more. I hope my speech behaves much like my hairline. Amusing and finished before you know it. It has been my delight and pleasure to be a friend of Will's for, I think, 23 years now, except the prison sentence. So the time we have spent together means that Will, in a way, has very much shaped my sense of humour. So if you find this speech unfunny, you can blame him from here on in. There are a lot of people here today who may not know Will all that well, so I'm going to educate you. My first recollection of Will was in a school playground, flat on his front with another boy, who is present tonight, sat astride his back and pulling his ears in an attempt to recreate the docking of a Channel cruiser ship. Needless to say, Will has ever since blamed his ear size and projection on Ben Cole. We were at school together for a very long period of time, and as with all male friends, there often seemed to be a rivalry between us. Or at least Will thought there was. When we had sat a test and the results were available, they would spread via an infamous mother's network between these two. I would hear about my own test results from my mother. Over the years, despite a fairly even overall competition, I'm pleased that Will has finally recognised me as the best man. We had a pleasant childhood in the countryside, although Will seemed to be ill for most of it. These illnesses ranged from simple colds, at least one of which was probably caught from running around our garden naked at midnight, as witnessed by my very surprised father, through to scrotal disorders and a concussion from a head injury sustained at the hands of a 2-year-old boy. As we grew up together, Will's dedication and hard work became evident. Like many of us during our teenage years, Will tried his hand at various part-time jobs to create some extra cash outside of school. The longest of these lasted an incredible 2 weeks, amply displaying his massive commitment. For those who are interested, the shortest lasted approximately 2 hours. 4 hours. 4 hours. It's still on my CV. The advent of cars in our lives created new possibilities as to where we could work and socialise, or at least it would have done if Will had remembered on his first solo drive that cars need petrol. A further asset to Will's kind and generous spirit is his ability to care and love other people. This reached an extreme when we were 17 in France, where after a particularly heavy night, Will awoke in the morning on a beach with his trousers down, being gently hugged in the arms of a young French man named Sébastien. The true nature of Will's experience that night, or as I prefer to call it, his violation has never been formally established. More recently, Will has been a traveller, a student, a home brewer, student again, rock star, student again, and finally student again. Now he mostly hangs around children's playgrounds. So, moving on to more serious ground and the issue in hand, I was delighted to meet Gemma for the first time in Nottingham, and as a fairly irregular observer of their relationship, it has been a privilege to watch things blossom to this day. I first heard about the engagement from Will. I knew something serious was afoot when he went quiet and asked what I thought about marriage. Needless to say, I was flattered. Selflessly, I suggested Jem, not to mention Sebastian. I mentioned Jem might make a more fitting life partner. Obviously, we now live in a modern time, and Will and Gemma have had the pleasure of already living together for some time. As a person who's shared a bed with Will after many nights out, I sympathise with him. Will does promise me that Jem is the noisier in bed, however. Take that as you will. On a positive note, since living together, Will has proved himself a skilled dog trainer, evident in Charlie, the well-behaved beagle. Will has even been known to run around dog tracks in suitable doggy attire on behalf of his beloved Pooch. Despite playing the game of, will Charlie's head fit through this hoop? Yes, but it won't come off. On more than one occasion, William achieved a bronze award at dog training school, which means he is capable of going a whole 3 minutes without urinating. Both Gemma and Charlie are very proud of him. I'm pleased to say Will has also mastered the skill of multitasking. I have personally witnessed Will standing and holding a pint. With all these skills Will has acquired, or at least skills Gemma has gently encouraged, I'm sure they'll have a happy domestic life together. Now, if everyone would be so kind as to take a drink in their hand, I'd like to make a toast to the new couple. May their futures be bright, and their joy for life and one another be everlasting. To William and Gemma Clark. Cheers. Cheers.